Hi again then guys, and welcome to another Forza Horizon 3 speed build. In particular, this is for a car which you can pick up from the Forzathon, or if you didn't get it from the Forzathon, you can also get it of course from the auction house, the Ford V8 Supercar, the Falcon. Now as far as tuning goes, these pre-existing race cars such as the Porsche, the Lambo, the Falcon, they're not as quick as their road-going counterparts would be in a straight line, in particular for top-end speed. So a tune like this is never the kind of car or the kind of tune that I would recommend using to try and beat everything. It's primarily a tune for if you're going against other similar cars. So for instance, other V8 supercars or other race cars in general. If you're going up against road cars, especially heavily tuned ones, you're going to struggle. Now as you can see, I have fitted all-wheel drive. I know some people won't want that on a race car. It's down to personal preference. If you don't want it, just don't fit it. As far as the rest, it's a pretty simple car to upgrade. Upgrade the power as far as you can. I've swapped out the wheels to some other ones which weigh the same, and that's pretty much all you need to do. Basically fit everything that you can to the car that improves it from where it already was. Now, as far as the tune, this is not on my storefront, so this is a YouTube exclusive. You'll need to follow this tutorial if you want to have it on your car. As you can see from the benchmark, it's pretty rapid. 1.7 to 60, 4.2 to 100, 234 flat out, and it can actually go a little bit higher than that. Now, you can get the acceleration, at least on the benchmark, to go even quicker than that. So we'll discuss that in just a second. But for now, as far as the gearbox, I'd recommend a final drive of 3.1. Then individual gears of 2.9, 2, 1.51, 1.21, 0.99 and 0.8. Then as far as the alignment, I've got neutral, camber and tow. Especially with all-wheel drive, you just don't need that on this car. 7 degrees of caster, but caster is of course very much down to personal preference as to how loose or stiff you want the steering to be. Anti-roll I've got on 30 and 20. Springs on 180, 200 and the lowest ride height. Dampers on 14 and 6. The aero you want as low as possible for top-end speed in particular. Of course, if you want better handling, you want to increase that, but you will lose some top speed. So, of course, it depends what you want and what you need. And finally, for the diff, we've got 100% for acceleration bias, 0 for decel, as usual, and this is where it can change up a little bit, because I've got it on 70% as far as the centre split goes in favour of the back end, primarily for manoeuvrability. However, if you take it down to about, say, 65, as you can see from the benchmark, it makes it that little bit better. Just under 1.7 to 60 and just under 4.2 to 100. So it depends what you want. With a split of 70%, it's a little bit looser than you might want an all-wheel drive car to be, so taking it down to 65 could be helpful for some people. But again, you can always change up settings. If you try and change it and find that it doesn't work as well for you, you can always just come back to the video and reset it compared to all these numbers anyway. There's really nothing to lose from doing so. So that's it for the setup. Now, as we always do, let's take it out on the street to see how fast it can actually go. Now overall, this is one of those cars which can get up around, say, 220, 225 fairly easily, but to get those few extra miles per hour, to get it up around 234, 235, that does take a bit longer, and of course a downhill section can help, especially when traffic isn't getting in your way, which it does an awful lot, as of course you can see from this video even, but also with slipstream. A car like this can benefit a lot, and when you're going up against cars such as the other race cars like the Lamborghini Huracan, the Porsche 911, they do have a fairly similar kind of top-end speed, so you can draft off of each other quite well. So if you do decide to use this tune for the Falcon V8 Supercar, of course I hope you have a lot of fun with it, and if you did enjoy it, there are plenty more tunes which you can click through at the end of this video to see here on the channel. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.